Hello my dear students. Today we are going to discuss about the topic classification of proteins. There are different types of classifications of protein. Among this, the most important type of classification, that is classification of proteins based on functions. As we all know, there are so many proteins in our body, and what are proteins? Proteins are made up of amino acids, and these amino acids are linked together by a special type of bond. It is known as peptide bond. So many proteins are there. Which are the different types of proteins? How are they classified? Okay, so we are entering into classification of protein based on functions. Classification of protein based on functions. There are 9 types of protein based on classification. First type of protein, that is known as catalytic protein. What is meant by catalytic protein? Which is the example for this catalytic protein? That is our enzymes. Enzymes are known as biological catalyst. They enhance the chemical reaction. So the example for catalytic protein, that is our enzymes. What is the definition of enzyme? It is known as biological catalyst. All enzymes are protein, but all proteins are not enzymes. One saying is there, all enzymes are protein, but all proteins are not enzymes. So the example for catalytic protein is our enzymes. The second type, that is our structural protein. 2 examples, collagen and elastin. Third category, it is known as contractile protein. So of course, it is present in our muscles. Which are those 2 contractile proteins? Myosin and actin. Then next, 4th category, it is known as transport protein. What is meant by transport protein? They help for transportation, transporting so many substances in our body. For example, hemoglobin. As we all know, hemoglobin transfer oxygen and carbon dioxide. Myoglobin, it is present in our muscle. Albumin transport so many substances like free fatty acid, steroids, drugs, hormones, bilirubin, etc. So the final example is transferrin. What is transferrin? It is the transport protein of iron. So these proteins can act as transport protein, transport materials, transport substances in our body. The 5th category, it is known as regulatory proteins or hormones. As we all know, hormones are one of the major type of substances present in our body that regulate our mechanisms in our body. So they are known as, hormones are known as regulatory proteins. Actually, these hormones are known as chemical messengers. They provide message, they pass message to different part of our body for different type of mechanism, and thus they regulate our body reactions. Okay. So, examples for regulatory protein, ACTH, insulin and growth hormone. 6th classification, that is 6th type of proteins coming under this classification based on functions is genetic proteins. Genetic protein example is histones. Example is histones. 7th type, it is known as protective proteins or defense protein. These proteins are the main substances, those act as defense actions. They provide defense actions in our body. Example, as we all know, provide immunity, immunoglobulin, and immunity underlying substances like interferons, clotting factors, all are known as defense proteins. Thus they provide protection. So they are known as protective proteins. 8th category, it is known as storage protein. Storage protein example, ovalbumin and glutenin. The last category, it is known as receptor protein. What is meant by receptor? There should be a receptor. Then only hormones can act. Viruses can act. Without receptors, hormones and viruses are inactive. So all these type of receptors are basically proteins. So receptor proteins, they are essential for the action of hormones and viruses. So there are 9 type of classification. Catalytic protein, structural protein, contractile protein, transport protein, regulatory proteins or hormones, genetic protein, protective protein, immunoglobulin, storage protein and receptor protein. This is the most important type of classification based on functions. It's a very important question for all university exams. It can be asked as a short note, short essay, or a part of essay. Okay, I hope you all understand very well. Thank you. Thank you so much.